You check your bank account and instantly feel sick. Rent is coming, your credit card is nearly maxed out, there's barely enough for groceries, and somehow, no matter how hard you try, the debt keeps growing. Meanwhile, online you see people saying things like, "I paid off $40,000 in 1 year." Cool, but what if you can barely survive until next payday? What if your problem isn't laziness, but simply not having enough breathing room? In this video, I want to talk about the real side of debt, not the fake motivational version, not the just stop buying coffee version. I'm talking about how to actually start escaping debt when you feel completely overwhelmed. Debt isn't just a math problem, it becomes emotional, because after a while, it changes how you think. You stop answering calls, you avoid checking your balance, you lose sleep at night replaying mistakes in your head. And the worst part, most people secretly blame themselves. They think, "I'm bad with money, I ruined my life, I'll never catch up." But here's something important to understand. Most people don't fall into debt because they're irresponsible. They fall into debt because modern life is expensive. And credit makes survival feel easy temporarily. A car repair, groceries, school, an emergency. A rough month emotionally, a stressful period where spending became comfort. At first, debt feels like relief, then slowly, it becomes a trap. Minimum payments keep you alive, but they also keep you stuck. Because if all you pay is interest, you're basically running on a treadmill financially. You're exhausted, but going nowhere. Before you can escape debt, you have to stop making the hole deeper. And I know that sounds obvious, but this is where most people stay trapped for years. New credit cards, buy now, pay later, and financing things they can't actually afford. Debt can become emotional survival. You feel stressed, so you spend to feel better. Then the spending creates more stress. Then you spend again. It becomes a cycle. So the first goal is not becoming rich overnight. The first goal is stabilization. No new debt unless it's a true emergency. That single decision changes everything. Because now, for the first time, your money can actually start moving forward instead of constantly moving backward. This next step feels terrifying, but it can save you thousands. Call your creditors. Seriously. Most people avoid this because they feel ashamed. But creditors would rather work with you than get nothing from you. You may be able to lower your interest rate, freeze interest temporarily, reduce payments, create a hardship plan, or consolidate certain balances. And here's the key. You need to explain your actual situation honestly. Your income, your bills, your debt payments. What's left at the end of the month? Not emotionally, just factually. A lot of people don't realize this, but banks and lenders often have programs specifically for financial hardship. You just have to ask. And if the first person says no, call again later. Talk to someone else. Stay calm, be respectful, be persistent. Even reducing one interest rate can free up hundreds of dollars over time. Now here's the uncomfortable truth nobody likes hearing. You cannot pay off debt fast without creating extra money somewhere. There are only two ways to change your situation. Spend less or earn more. Usually, you need some combination of both. And before you roll your eyes at spend less, listen carefully. This is not about becoming miserable forever. This is about creating temporary breathing room. Because right now, every unnecessary expense is stealing freedom from your future self. And honestly, most people leak money in tiny ways they barely notice. Food delivery, subscriptions, convenience spending, impulse Amazon purchases, snacks, and random shopping. Not because they're stupid, because they're tired. And tired people make expensive decisions. One thing that helps a lot is separating needs from emotional spending. Not perfectly, just honestly. Because awareness changes behavior faster than guilt does. You do not need some extreme financial transformation overnight. Small, consistent changes matter more. Meal planning alone can save hundreds every month. Cooking at home more often. Buying fewer convenience foods. Actually checking what you already own before shopping. Another huge one. Cancel subscriptions you forgot existed. Almost everyone has money quietly disappearing every month. And here's one of the most powerful tricks for overspending. Stop carrying your cards everywhere. When you shop with cash, your brain feels the spending more. Digital spending feels invisible. That's why tapping your phone can feel harmless until you check your balance later. Another strategy, create separate accounts for bills and spending. This reduces financial confusion massively. Because when everything sits in one account, your brain thinks, oh, I still have money. But part of that money already belongs to rent, or utilities, or debt payments. Separating money by purpose creates clarity, and clarity reduces anxiety. Paying debt, there are two popular methods. The avalanche method, pay off the highest interest debt first. This saves the most money mathematically. Then there's the snowball method, pay off the smallest debt first. This gives emotional wins faster. And honestly, the best method is the one you'll actually stick with. Because personal finance is emotional, not just mathematical. Momentum matters. Confidence matters. Feeling progress matters. The important thing is this. Every extra payment matters, even small ones. Because every dollar above the minimum weakens the debt little by little. Here's something I wish more people understood. Being in debt does not mean you failed at life. A lot of good people are struggling financially right now. And carrying constant money stress is exhausting. It affects your sleep, your relationships, your confidence, your mental health. But debt is not permanent. It feels permanent when you're overwhelmed, but it isn't. The moment you stop avoiding the problem, you regain power. Not instantly, not magically, but slowly. And slow progress is still progress. You do not need to become perfect with money. You just need to become more intentional than you were yesterday. That's how people eventually escape debt. One decision at a time. If you're struggling financially right now, I want you to know something. You are not the only one. And you are not hopeless. Start small. Stabilize first. Stop new debt. Reduce the interest. Create breathing room. Then attack the balances one by one. It takes time, but it works. And one day, you'll check your bank account. And instead of panic, you'll finally feel peace. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video.